I kept going over it and over it, and finally I ended up with and when you look back at that thing, and I was coming up with that on the spot, that is a musical composition. That was a composition. I mean, the drum part is like a little composed hook line. Boom, blam, boo, 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 ba da boo, da ba boo da boo doo boo doo, blah blah boo boom, ba da boo, sha, boo, ba da boo, sha. And it's pretty involved. It's not just like, let's get up and jam.
Yeah.
It's pretty intense. It's a short little piece, but it's a composition. Nevertheless, man, that probably saved my career right there. Another moment. And I swore that I would just do that record, and I'll never forget hearing Hurt So Good, which was the first lead-off single. And John made the drums so loud that any song that came on the radio before us or after us got blown out. And that's exactly what happened. I mean, you had Eye the Tiger, Ebony and Ivy by Michael Jackson, and all of a sudden you had God, it was so loud, and I was playing left-handed, so even when I did my fills, my left hand was still in the hi-hat. Big ass sound, and also I was like, "Who the heck is this guy?" And that was the beginning, man. And I'll never forget, man. It was like, talk about no pain, no gain. Yeah. Well, there was a lot of pain, and I got the gain. But you know, when I had both those singles were in the top 10 in the same week, and back then, if you had a single in the top 10, that meant every time you turned on any radio station, there was your song. MTV, well, there was no VH1. I mean, we were all over the map. We were the cover of Rolling Stone. We were the album of the year for the Grammys. I mean, it was huge. Yeah. And when that happened, I remember thinking, I wasn't thinking I'd made it. I thought, holy shit, I got my work cut out for me. Because now everybody knows who you are. Yeah. And you aren't that good. You don't have your shit together. You're not Steve Gadd or Billy Cobham or even Steve Smith or Elvin Jones or whoever. Man, you don't know shit. And I was concerned. So I was practicing my ass off every chance I got.
That's awesome, man. And, you know, you do have the technique and the groove, and that's definite. I mean, you honed your skills. But, you know, there's so many good drummers out there. There really are. These days, everybody has technique. That's just a fact.
Everybody does.
It's crazy. You turn around, you go to NAMM, you turn around, there's like a 3-year-old playing drum solos, you know? And what I wanted to get to in this interview was, you know, because there are so many good musicians, there's so many great artists these days that have the skill, you realize that it's not always just the skill that it takes to become successful. It's not just the ability to play, and you know, because everybody can do that almost these days now. So what do you think are the top qualities that got you? I mean, you just basically explained a lot of it right then with Mellencamp and that fire under your ass from the beginning. But you know, like, what would you say the qualities that you could tell people out there that helped you get to where you are? Like, persistence is obviously one of them. Hard work. I mean, what could you say that qualities that really help you work, being one of the most in-demand session musicians in the world?
Well, I mean, the good news is that, you know, a lot has to do with just the way your personality is and the way you're made, you know, the makeup. I mean, I only take credit in life for one thing, and that's hard work. So I can make myself work hard. Talent and the way you can only work with what you work with what you have. But I didn't make me. So I have good genetics, you know, thank God I'm not like, you know, I'm still in shape and that, but I work at it. I work at staying in shape. I work at you know, you can make yourself practice. Hard work, but the thing is, what I guess I'm getting at is, you're born with a certain personality, a certain ability to just live and cope with life. And that's a big part of it. And it's almost like, why is that guy a fighter pilot and not me? Because he was born with certain qualities that make him a great fighter pilot, whatever that is. Why does that guy end up being a genius golfer? Now, if I practice as much as, any professional golfer, like Tiger Woods or something, I might not have been as good as Tiger because he just literally has more talent. He's born with the right personality. I probably wouldn't have lasted because doesn't mean anything to me to golf. Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of it is just stuff that you're born with a certain personality, a certain attribute that works. In other words, to be more specific, I'm born with a certain kind of charisma or personality that just so happens it works for working in sessions. Because with some people might go like, you know what, I don't want to put up with that fucking asshole. Or I don't want to do this many takes. If I'm working 30 days straight, 12 hours a day, and all of a sudden in the 30th day I'm working for somebody who just wants to tell you every note to play after every take, comes in and says, let's try this, let's try that. Some people would drive them nuts. They'd go like, you know what, Jesus, dude, you hired me to play. Yeah. Let me play. Well, I might feel those things, but I'm going like, yeah, but Kenny, you are hired to play on this record. This guy is the boss. You may have more information and more ability and more knowledge and more experience than this guy, but he hired you, and that's just the rules of being hired. You work for them. Yeah. And, I'm not saying that someone should walk all over me, and I might steer things a certain way, but basically there's a certain style that every producer has, and you have to kind of go along with that. In the 30th day, 12th hour, if you're not, or for that matter, into the third day at 12th hour, you can't handle that, then then session drumming is not what you're supposed to be doing. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I got a certain personality, just so happens that works out for being good at what I do. Persistence and hanging in there and the desire to be perfect. Usually people are saying that's good enough, and I'm saying no, it's not. I'm always, let's do another one. They're like, let's just go on. Nah, I can do it better. I mean, that's a certain personality,
Well, did you see, in that interview, that cover piece I did for Modern Drummer with Stanton Moore, did you get a chance to read that at all?
Yeah.
And we talked about you, and Stanton brought up the fact that he goes, every time I see Kenny Aronoff, that dude is in better shape. He looks better than he did the year before. He looks cooler, and that's the thing, man. I think it's your ability from an outside point of view, at least. You might not see this the way I see it, but I think it's your ability to constantly improve yourself, and I think that shows in the way you take care of yourself as well. I mean, look at you, man. You're super fit, and you take care of yourself, and you always manage to stay current with everything, and I think that's the ability to serve the music is what you do. You serve, you put yourself second to the music. I mean, the music is what your job is, and you work on yourself, and you work on being the best that you can be. I mean, just before, when I was emailing you, you're like, dude, I'm writing charts or something. Like, every time I talk to you, you're like doing something, man, related to music. Like, people just see you rocking the drum kit and, and on television and shit. But, you dedicate your whole life to this craft, trying to make it as best as you can. So, I mean, right? That's part of the deal.
Yeah, it is. It is part of the deal. I mean, it's not balanced. I mean, the way I work, it's not balanced. I mean,